Hey everyone, it's me. I am post-tubal and ablation surgery, or Novasure, is what the procedure was called. But yeah, I am feeling, actually, it's mixed. I'm feeling really great about the surgery and my decision to get the surgery, which is good because it's irreversible. um, but I am getting over strep throat. If you follow me on Facebook, excuse me, you will know that I have been sick. I was kind of sick, or getting sick, going into the surgery. I thought it was just a cold. Ooh, you're pooping. I thought it was just a cold, but it actually, oh, sorry. Attractive, I know. It actually ended up being strep throat. I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I went into the surgery on Friday, November 7th, so 3 days ago, 4 days ago. What's today, Tuesday? And my mom took me, we left in the morning, dropped the kids off to their babysitters' places, and then we went to the hospital and got my pre-labs done. They needed to make sure I wasn't pregnant or anything like that, draw my blood. And then, yeah, and then they took me back. The procedure took about 45 minutes to do. They put me under, so I was asleep. I don't know. I woke up with an oxygen thing in my nose, and I'm pretty sure that they did a tube in my throat as well because my throat was really raw. It was scratched and stuff, and I couldn't really talk when I first woke up. But I didn't ask. I don't know. I guess I didn't really care. I know it sounds weird, but it just wasn't on the top of my priority list. But I woke up and was in the first recovery room for an hour, and I tell you what, it was like the greatest sleep I've ever had. If you've never been put to sleep before, it's just the oddest thing. I don't know. I woke up in some pain. They gave me something in my IV that just made me feel wonderful. And then they transferred me to the second recovery room where I stayed for an hour, and they went over my post-surgery rules and everything like that, and gave me my prescriptions. I am on a steady dose of Motrin or ibuprofen. It's like 800 milligrams every 12 hours, which is actually what I was on after I had her for pain management. And then I also have Tylenol with codeine. I chose Tylenol with codeine because I think it's the safest in terms of breastfeeding. I have actually been trying not to take it when I know I'm going to breastfeed her. If I know that my husband is going to feed her a bottle of my already pumped breast milk, then I will take one. But I try not to take it during the day. I have been taking it because after I got home, I immediately got sick the day after I was home. So Saturday I was kind of fine, and then all of Sunday I was just starting to get sick and I was hurting, and then Monday I just was out completely. I had a fever about 100.2 or 100.7, and then it was 100.2. So I was taking the Tylenol around the clock. It brought down my fever and helped me with my pain and stuff. And my fever was not related, or my sickness is not related to my surgery. It was just because I was already getting sick with strep. I get it every year. And so, yeah. But yeah, the surgery went really well. Doctor said everything looked great. I do have some endometriosis apparently inside. He did see that. I'll know more in a week at my post-op appointment with him. So that'll be next week, I believe. But yeah, he said everything went extremely well, and he fried everything really nicely inside my uterus. So my periods should be a lot less, if not any. So that's great. I guess I'll have to wait a year to figure that out, though, because I'll be nursing, obviously. And my tubal went really well, too. I didn't get my tubes tied. There's a lot of different ways to get your tubes done. Some people use clamps, like fish clamps. They clamp on. Some people will use other types of ways of just tying them shut, so to speak. I actually got mine snipped. He literally cut them and then cauterized the ends, so there's no way of the eggs dropping, I guess, and the eggs and the sperm meeting. What is going to happen to my eggs is that my body will just reabsorb them, just like they would during any period, that I don't get pregnant. Your body just reabsorbs all those eggs. So, the way my doctor explained it to me and my mom explained it to me and everything that I've read, this is actually more natural, so to speak, than a man getting a vasectomy done. So, yeah. I know a lot of you showed a lot of concern for me with it because of their tubules or because of things that they've heard or read or seen, and I really appreciate it, even the negative comments that I got and emails that I got, because I know you were looking out for my best interest. But I also did my own research, and I think that with any type of procedure, you just kind of have to weigh your options and kind of weigh the good and the bad. And you also have to, it's your own choice. You can't let necessarily other people sway you because every situation's different. Everybody's bodies are different, and so they react differently to different procedures. Like, I would never tell somebody else to go get what I had done. Even if this is really successful and, everything's great, my period stopped completely, I would never say you should go get that done because it's not my place to say that. All I'm doing is telling you about how my experience has gone. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm like advocating getting your tubal done at a young age or right after your, as a form of birth control, because it is a very permanent procedure, so unless you're really, really sure, you shouldn't get it done. But I'm just telling you how it's affected me in my life. So, in terms of making this decision and stuff, it's weird because every day that I wake up, I kind of forget that I've had it done. The pain is still kind of there at my incision points, but all in all, I'm feeling really well. Just sore, but not like bad. So, in terms of waking up, it's just weird because it takes me a few hours and I realize, oh, I had a tubal done. Like, I'm never going to have kids again, And I can say that without crying now because honestly, like, I feel really good about my decision. I look at her and I just think, I made this decision for my kids too, so that they can have more of me in the future and more of my husband in the future and have, all of that, and they all have siblings now. It's not like they're missing out on having a brother or sister because, we have one boy and two girls, and I'm very happy with the amount of kids we have. This is what I planned. I have my boy and I have my girl with my husband. I have my beautiful daughter Ava with her father. I'm I feel very fulfilled and very happy and complete. So I don't regret my tubal whatsoever. It's actually really refreshing to think that I can now look forward to, what my future holds. I don't know what that will be exactly, but it's nice to know that now I don't have to think about, okay, well, I can't do this for a year because I might get pregnant or I might want to have a baby. When I wasn't completely done, it was kind of like I couldn't plan certain trips or do certain things because I needed to plan 9 months out of that life for a pregnancy, or getting pregnant or then having a newborn. So now it's kind of like once we're past this newborn stage, we can finally kind of have our regular, normal lives back. So that's really exciting. Also, a huge thing for me, a lot of people ask, oh, you're so young, why can't you try other types of contraceptives? I have. I started my period when I was in 4th grade, summer before 4th grade, so I would have been 9 or 10. I was 10. No, I was 9, turning 10. So I was very, very young, which is crappy because, I guess that comes from your mom. So if my daughter starts her periods all that young, I feel really bad for my son and my husband. Lots of hormones are going to be happening in this house for a long time. But I have tried all those things. My mom is a nurse practitioner at OB/GYN. I've always had very, very heavy periods. I've always had very irregular periods. It was never fun for me as such a young child to go to sleepovers and have to worry about bleeding out, of my tampons or my pads or, at that young of an age when none of my friends were having their periods or anywhere close to having their periods, And so I have been on all those birth controls, orthotricycline, ortho-evra, Seasonal. Whenever anything new that came out, my mom would bring home as a sample and I would try it. And either I'd get really moody or my hair would start falling out or I'd gain weight or I would get really nauseous or a lot of headaches. Like nothing really fit. After I had my daughter, I went on Depo-Provera, which is a shot that they do in the butt once a month or every 3 months maybe. I think it's every 3 months. I don't remember. But my hair fell out tremendously. I had lots and lots of hair loss, so that was not a good fit for me. After that, I tried Mirena. It's the 5-year IUD. I did that right after the Depo because that was not effective for me. Sex for us, I haven't really ever talked about this, but well, as some of you know if you follow my blog, I've had a very hard past. When it comes to sex, I haven't had a very healthy relationship when it comes to that part of my life. I was sexually abused as a child. That's a long story. If you can read about that in my blog. But yeah, so there's just been a lot of bad things that have happened to me when it comes to that type of thing. Also, I have gotten pregnant so easily, unexpectedly, that's always been a fear at the back of my mind too. Whether or not it's there all the time, it's definitely there subconsciously. So I think that didn't help with our relationship. You know, I wanted to be intimate with my husband, but it was really hard to because of all these other things going on in my head. So I'm hoping that with this, you know, knowing that I can't get pregnant now, that will help our relationship, and maybe that will be one less thing that I have to think about or be paranoid about. So I'm excited about that aspect, you know, to know that maybe we can have a healthier relationship there. Because it's all on me. It's my my psyche is just messing with me. But, you know, for women, that's a huge part of our intimacy. You know, if our mind's not in it, our body doesn't get into it. You know, men are completely different. They're not wired that same way, but for women, we are. So that's another reason why I thought a tubal was the best route for me. You know, other contraceptives weren't working for me. I knew I wasn't gonna have any more kids, and I want to have a good sexual relationship with my husband, so to speak. So I'm hoping this helps, and I'm hoping this works. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people who I guess there's stuff online about it messing with your hormones and stuff like that, but you know, other birth controls were already doing that to me anyways, and I don't necessarily think, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist and stuff, so, you know, that could be actually one of the things, but my doctor said that that's not the case. It doesn't work that way. He doesn't see why it should mess with my hormones. My phone's ringing. So I'm not really concerned. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's my in-laws calling. So I'm not really worried about that happening. But yeah, so that's why this tubal was a good idea for me. So for all of you wondering why, that's why. So I'm very happy with the decision I made. I'm very happy with my recovery. I'll show you my scars. What they did was they went in through my belly button. My don't know why I say button. My belly button. And a little bit where my pubic area is. And they took a laparoscope, which is a little camera, and they took their tool, whatever they use to cut and cauterize. They filled my belly up with gas, so that way they could see better and move my organs around and such. And yeah, so that's why I'm so sore. My incisions are so sore, because they went through like literally, you know, fat and muscle and all that junk. So yeah, I'll show you that. In terms of my surgery, you know that I was struggling really hard with breastfeeding and what we were going to do. I actually was able to pump enough the week before from morning feedings and pumping one of my breasts while feeding her during the day. I was able to pump enough and store it for the whole time that I was in my surgery, which is great. We took her to the hospital, and I nursed her up until the point where they wheeled me back, and then my mom left and took her to the babysitter and then came back. So she was only actually with the babysitter for I think 4 hours, and she only had to be bottle fed once or twice. In terms of bottle feeding, what I did was I basically forced her to bottle feed. The 2 days before my surgery, so Wednesday and Thursday, I strictly from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock p.m. only allowed her to have pumped breast milk with the bottle. I tried lots and lots of different bottles. For some reason, she started refusing the Similac bottles that we had been using that the week before she had liked. So I went to the store and I took some of your guys' suggestions. I don't know where those things went. There it is. I took some of your guys' suggestions and I got the Tommy Tippy bottles and the pacifiers. And then I also, just out of my own curiosity, I picked up some nipples that my son refused the bottle. He never ever took the bottle officially, ever, the whole year that I breastfed him. I think it's because we started too late with him, but the one time that he did accept the bottle, it was when I went in for an MRI and I couldn't breastfeed him for 24 hours. The one time that he did take like 1 ounce from a bottle, was using the free nipples that we got from the hospital, which were these Nook ready to feed nipples. They are made out of latex. They are ready to use. They're $4.99 at Babies R Us. They come in packs of 2. They have a weird shape to them, and they're latex. The one thing that I noticed with both my daughter, my first daughter, Ava, and my son was that neither of them did well with silicone anything. I think it's because it's too slippery. They couldn't grasp onto it. My daughter, Ava, actually was having weight gain issues because of it. We found out my cousin had the same problem as her daughter, and we went out to visit her, and she's like, oh, have you tried latex nipples? And we're like, no. Sure enough, we tried latex nipples, and she gained like 2 pounds in 2 weeks. That made all the difference because she could actually grasp onto the latex, whereas the silicone was really slippery. So with breastfed babies, they suck differently with their tongue underneath, and that makes it harder to suck nipples, artificial nipples. So just out of my own curiosity, I grabbed these. I bought these because my son, it was the only thing that my son would take anything from. So I thought, well, what the hell? They're related. Maybe that's the case. So I bought these, and then I also bought some Playtex. These are the ones that my oldest daughter, used as well. The only thing she used. They're this kind of shape. I understand that the gummies, I think that's what they're called, the gumdrop ones, and the Soothies, those are really popular because hospitals use them and because they're most like a mom's nipple. I looked at them and compared them to my own nipple, and they don't look like my nipple. Again, I wanted to get a latex one just to see if that was maybe the problem of her not being able to keep one in her mouth. And sure enough, I picked these because these actually are very similar to my nipple, and they're the only pacifiers that my daughter would take, and then she, really liked. So I tried these, and sure enough, she loves these. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the latex, maybe it's the shape, maybe it's because they're all 3 related and maybe have the same type of mouth structure. I don't know. But that's what ended up working, were these Playtex ones and these Nook ones. And the nice thing about these is they're not too long. These are 0 to 6 months, and I noticed with the Soothies, the gumdrops, and all the other ones, they're really long, and my daughter was gagging on them. She's not once gagged on this, so I think it's because they're shorter. So I really like that about them. So yeah, I don't really encourage using pacifiers because I hate, my daughter would not give hers up for the longest time after, and it was really hard. But with my son, he used me as human pacifier. He never took anything artificial, and I didn't want to live that life again for another year, so I thought, what the hey, let's try one more pacifier, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just be the pacifier. But luckily, these worked. So she'll take these at night instead of suckling on me, just to be soothed for an hour, which she does every night around 9 or 10. She'll now do that with this, which is really nice. So yeah, and it's not like she's not gaining weight well. She's a big girl. She's in 3-month clothes officially, and she will be 2 months tomorrow. On Friday. So yeah, I am excited because I can take the Tommy Tippy stuff back because I think I spent $20, $30 on that stuff. So I'm excited because instead of spending $30, I only spent $10, and that fixed things. So now my husband is actually feeding her at her 4 o'clock wake up period. She goes to bed around 9, wakes up at 4 a.m. Well, she wakes up at midnight, but I'm still up at that point, so I feed her. Then she'll go back to bed and wake up at 4 for feeding, and then at 7. So my husband's been actually bottle feeding her every morning at 4 so that I can sleep since I've been sick. So that's been great. And then I pump in the morning while I'm feeding her, and I get about 4 ounces out on one breast, and then we freeze that or we refrigerate it for later. But we have been basically bottle feeding her at least 1 or 2 times a day just to keep her on the bottle because I don't want to have to do this again. But for anybody asking for advice on how to get your breastfed baby on a bottle, I seriously suggest just forcing them. I mean, they can drink from a bottle. They just refuse to. And if you find the right bottle and they show some interest in it, then that means that they are fine with it. So just keep with it. They are not going to starve to death. They will figure out that there's milk from the bottle. So basically it's just getting them used to it. So that's what I did, and now she takes the bottle really, really easily without crying, without complaining from anyone, even from me. Like I said, I'm the one who had to break her into them the first 2 days anyways while I was home with her. But what I did was I didn't offer her my breast at all. I offered her the bottle, and if she didn't want the bottle, I would wait her out, and she'd usually just fall asleep. Yeah, she did really well. So we're really excited. It did take some exhausting time of us. Sorry on me, listening to her scream, but it was well worth it because now I can leave her and know that she's okay for at least 2 to 3 hours. And I can sleep at night, and my husband can feed her. And my husband actually said that he felt very fulfilled knowing that he could take care of his daughter, because up until this point, he had never actually had to take care of a newborn like he did while I was after my surgery. Because with my son, he wouldn't take bottles, so that was the only thing that he would take from. So it was really nice to be able to have my husband kind of live in my shoes for a few days. He admits that it's very hard. And I think that he's a lot closer to Kaya now, and I see it when they interact now, and he loves taking her because he knows that he can feed her and stuff, so it's amazing. It's completely different than last time. But yeah, so that's my suggestion, to try the cheapest things first, because you never know, they might work. Like I said, we got these in our hospital bag for free with my son, and they were $4.99 for a pack of 2 at Babes R Us, so that's what we did. And it's nice because you can either take the nipple out and put it in your breast pump cap, like those bottles that come with them. I have an Amita one. Or you can just twist these onto 4-ounce bottles. They fit most 4-ounce bottle pump thingies. So it's nice because I can just pump it, put this on, and we're ready to go. So yeah, I really, really like these, but that's pretty much it. I feel really, really good. I didn't have any like severe shoulder pain. I guess that's one of the symptoms after you get a tubal done because of the gas. But I didn't have any of that. I have been farting a lot, which sounds really gross, but that's just my body getting rid of that excess gas that was in my stomach. Like I said, my incisions are still kind of sore, but they look really great. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I haven't really had any issues other than that. But I'll go ahead and show you my incision marks, and I will let you go. I have a lot of great things coming up this week and next week. Monday I'll be announcing my giveaway, which includes things from New for Baby, Cover Boo Couture, and also Pretty Pushers. Basically, it's another thank you to you guys giveaway / holiday giveaway / things that I love. I will also be adding some things that I love personally myself, and I will show you guys all that on Monday. I also have a review on a stroller and stroller bag coming up this week, and also my gifts to give for a new baby for the first Christmas blog post that I will have up hopefully by the end of this week. Our surgeries in the family are not yet done. My husband is having his knee surgery done on Thursday, so not tomorrow but the next day. So please keep us in your thoughts. He will then be off for a month on disability, healing from that. It's really scary because it is the holidays and his paychecks will be cut considerably because it is disability. It's not his usual salary pay. So it kind of stinks. So we're definitely going to have a much smaller Christmas this year, but honestly, I'm just so happy with what I have in terms of family that it's not that big of a deal. But it is kind of stressful because there are still bills to be paid. So if you could keep us in your thoughts, I'd really appreciate that. Keep my husband in your thoughts because it's really scary for me to see him go under the knife, just because, you know, any surgery, no matter how big or small it is still, you know, there are still risks and it's still scary. So yeah. Oh, and if you notice over here, I popped a blood vessel in my eye this morning. Probably from coughing so much, we're thinking, but kind of hurts. But hopefully that's the last thing. Hopefully I'm on the road to recovery in terms of my illnesses. But yeah, so she's asleep. I'll show you my incisions and I will let you guys go. Okay, so I don't know how much you can see right now. Sorry. So I took a shower this morning, but they did an incision right here. I don't know if you can see this. And it hurts to touch. I'm still a little swollen in my belly area from the gas and from just, you know, bruising. It's hard, but you can hardly tell, you know, it's right there. They just cut open my belly button right here and here and glued it together. I didn't have any stitching at all. And then I don't know if you can see this, but I also have one right here. Just a small little line. This one is actually more tender, which is why I'm wearing these stretchy pants or comfy pants today, so that way it doesn't push on it. But I would suggest to anybody getting this procedure done to wear a dress when you go in and get it done, because I didn't really think about where the incisions were going to be in place, and I wish I would have had like a dress because it would have not, the pants that I wore home put pressure on it and it was really sensitive. And also, when I was in for my surgery, all I could think was, man, I wish Pretty Pushers made like hospital gowns for just surgeries because my hospital gown was so uncomfortable. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys are doing really, really well. Thank you for everyone who's been so nice and wishing me well. I'm so sorry that I haven't gotten back to anybody's comments or emails. It's really, really hard juggling 3 kids and everything going on right now. So, yeah, thank you to everyone. Bye.